10 mysterious things found trapped in ice. Over the years, scientists have found many things frozen in ice. Some are fascinating, well, some are odd, and then there are bizarre things that can baffle your mind. After all, some things are more complicated to explain than others, so today we'll bring you the 10 mysterious things found trapped in ice. We guarantee that you'd be delighted to know some, if not all, of these findings. So without further ado, let's begin the countdown. Number 10. One fish eating another. Starting our countdown, we have 1 fish, 2 fish, dead fish, fed fish. The discovery we are talking about is one pike eating a bass but being frozen in action. 2 brothers found them in a lake in Indiana while they were out fishing and took a photo, which they later shared on Facebook. Many people claimed that it was fake and had been photoshopped. To prove everyone wrong, the brothers went to the lake, cut out the fish from the ice, and filmed it. That put rest to all the trolls. And we got to see a pike who tried to eat a 14-inch bass. Which, of course, is strange because they only eat small fish. One of the brothers even put forward a theory about them. He thinks that the bass was caught by a fisherman but was too small, so the person released it back. But the bass died, and the pike, thinking it was an easy meal, tried to eat it but choked on it due to the large size and died also. After this, they both froze in time due to cold weather. The theory seems pretty logical and well thought out. But if you guys have something else in your mind, do share it with us. Number 9. The Viking sword on the mountain. Moving on to number 9, we have the Viking sword on the mountain. Some reindeer hunters found the mysterious sword on a remote mountain in Norway. The weapon is very common, but what makes it unique is the location. It was found 1,640 meters above sea level, and archaeologists reported that no Viking sword has ever been found at such a high altitude. It's believed to be at least 1,100 years old, and many speculations are surrounding it. Some people believe that it belonged to a Viking who died at the mountain range. Others think that its owner lost their sword while crossing this range. However, all we know so far is that the weapon is well preserved because of the cold and quality of the iron. Interestingly, this isn't the first find of a Viking artifact in Norway. A year before the sword discovery, a Viking church was also uncovered by some archaeologists. Number 8. Mammoth brains. On the 8th spot, we have frozen mammoth brains. One of the weirdest things that anyone could discover frozen in ice is the brains of a woolly mammoth. This mummified organ of a 39,000-year-old mammoth was found in August 2010. The mammoth was found in Yakutia, Russia, and is called Yuka. Experts have reported it was only 6 to 9 years old when it died. They are also fascinated by the brain, which is well preserved. In fact, they claim this is the only well-preserved species of woolly mammoth humanity has ever come across. The carcass of the animal was put into ice storage 93 miles from its discovery site. However, since then, its location has changed several times. Currently, you can find it on display in a museum in Moscow. The researchers have informed that they located the cerebellum of the mammoth and even discovered the gray and white matter of the brain. But the forebrain was found in poor condition when they drilled into the skull. While it may be the first well-preserved mammoth, it's not the first discovery of these Ice Age mammals. In 2007 and 2009, 2 babies of the same species were also found trapped in ice. If you think this is the creepiest find on the list, you're mistaken. It's only gonna get more mysterious. Number 7. The bark-wrapped mummies. On number 7, we have one of the most intriguing things on the list, the bark-wrapped mummies. Mummies are one thing that has been in our culture forever. There's movies and books and everything about them. Typically, you would expect them to be covered in bandages, but that is not the case with this discovery. Found in a town in Russia, this mummy was wrapped in a cocoon of birch bark. The body is believed to be of a child from the 12th or 13th century AD. It's claimed that the mummy has links to civilization in Persia. That is because some ancient bowls that were found near the body. Before this discovery, many other mummies were found near the site. Experts say all of them were naturally mummified due to freezing conditions. Now the remains are kept at the museum and being preserved. Number 6. Children of Lulailako. On number 6, we have the Children of Lulailako. Yes, we know it's a little hard to pronounce. It's kind of like a tongue twister. But that's not the important thing. This discovery is more disturbing than interesting. In 1999, 3 frozen mummies of the Inca children were found at the summit of Mount Lulailako. One of them is a teenage girl, but the other two were merely kids assumed to be ages 6 or 7. It has been confirmed that the children were victims of a religious ritual of the year 1500. Historians have claimed that these kids were chosen because of their beauty. The biochemical analysis of the teenage girl has also provided some insight into her life. The results confirm the historical theories that these children were part of the ritual for a whole year. They were given coca and alcohol to alter their states and sedate them. Afterward, they were placed underground and left to die. However, the freezing temperatures of the region led their bodies being preserved. Has this discovery made you as uncomfortable as us? Well, then let's move on and take a look to something a bit lighter. Number 5. Ancient Russian worms. No, we're not talking about the Alaskan bullworm. This is the Russian bullworm. Finally, on number 5, we have ancient Russian worms. Once again, we have a Siberian discovery for you. These nematodes were found in Siberia and believed to be frozen for about 42,000 years. The most impressive part of this finding is that they weren't dead. We were as shocked as you when we learned that. After all, how could it be possible to survive the cold for tens of thousands of years? However, the cold is the reason that they're alive. It helped them to preserve cryogenically. After being discovered, they were slowly thawed for a few weeks and kept in petri dishes at 20 degrees. Once the worms warmed up, they came back to life and started moving around. This is a milestone, as they are the first documented organisms to have been revived after spending thousands of years in permafrost. Indeed, impressive worms. But we should also commend the Russian scientists that made this fantastic discovery. Number 4. Frozen Ice Age puppies. Oh, this one's gonna make me sad. Making its way to the 4th position, we have frozen Ice Age puppies. Dogor, an 18,000-year-old puppy, was discovered in the Siberian permafrost in 2018. The remains of the Ice Age canine were found in a lump of ice. The cold helped to preserve the body parts. In fact, its milk teeth, head, and nose are still intact. Scientists suggest that the pup was only 2 months at the time of its death. However, the cause remains unknown. Researchers have now sequenced the DNA of the puppy and revealed that it's a male, but they still don't have an answer to whether this canine is a dog or a wolf. It is reported that Dogor probably came into being when dogs were relatively a new species. We have to acknowledge, though, that Siberia is rich in harboring ancient species. Even in 2016, a 12.4 thousand-year-old puppy was found near the discovery site of Dogor. Scientists believe that soon these pups can help unravel the mysteries behind the domestication of dogs. You'd find it interesting that if Dogor turned out to be a dog, he'd be the oldest one in the world. Of course, we can't wait until the mystery is finally solved. Number 3. Siberian Ice Maiden. On number 3, we have Siberian Ice Maiden. In 1993, a Russian archaeologist and her team found a tomb at Ukok Plateau. The contents of the tomb were trapped in ice. Once they melted the ice, they found 6 horses sacrificed around a coffin that contained a well-preserved young woman. Even the tattoos on her body are still visible. Naturally, the locals were outraged by this finding. They claim that this woman is the princess of Ukok Plateau and consider her as the guardian of the Altai people. However, the scientists refuse to believe that she is a princess. They dispute the status by calling her a representative as the Patriotic Society. Their theory is supported by the fact that the tomb was not decorated like other nobles of the society. Even the burial location was far away from where nobles are buried. A mystery surrounds her death, and it is suggested that she died of breast cancer. Nonetheless, the Ice Maiden has been returned to the Altai people, but not to the tomb. Instead, she has been put in a museum in a special room that meets the beliefs of the Altai. Now she can be visited only on specific days of the year for preservation purposes. Number 2. A 25-million-year-old lake filled with life. Winning the second spot, we have a 25-million-year-old lake filled with life. Lake Vostok in Antarctica is one of the largest lakes in the world, and it was discovered in 2012 when some Russian scientists drilled into 2 miles of ice. And yes, we know its existence seems unbelievable. You may be wondering, how did it not freeze? But there is something even weirder about the lake. The scientists had found alien life at this place. Although we're not referring to spaceship aliens. The researchers found unknown bacteria in this lake. Even recently, in 2020, some experts claim to have found a different community of organisms in the basal ice of the lake. They reported there are not only bacteria, but also eukaryotes in this place. However, many people doubt these claims and believe the samples were found because of contamination by drilling. After all, many people have led expeditions to the Vostok to get samples, but we cannot deny the fact that life has been discovered at this place many times. Only time will tell whether the lake actually harbors living organisms or these findings were just the result of contamination. Number 1. Blood Falls. Last but not least, on the top spot we have Bloody Falls. Antarctica is one of the whitest and coldest places on this planet, next to Connecticut, so it is bizarre that a waterfall has been discovered at this place. Behold yourself. From here, it only gets weirder. This waterfall is blood red, and it seems like blood flowing from a glacier, but if you're squeamish, don't stress out because it's not actually blood that gives the stream the color. It's simply iron-rich water. When the water meets air, it rusts, due to which the red stains are deposited on the ice. However, what lives inside the subglacial lake is creepier and more interesting to scientists. Millions of years ago, microbes lived in this lake, and guess what? They haven't gone anywhere. The microbes of Blood Falls obtain energy by breaking sulfates which contain oxygen. Because of the iron, something magical happens to the water. It reacts with the water to form sulfates which the microbes use to survive. Just when you think science couldn't get any more fascinating, it surprises you. It's also interesting that there are only 2 ways to reach the falls. Either you can take a helicopter or a cruise ship to visit this magnificent yet mysterious place.